we'll jump ahead a little bit to the point after you have done all of your experimentations, or you can do your experimentations now. What do you think? What would you prefer? I'm not sure if you would want, if you are very eager to get the plot going, or advancing the game, because I know that you've already spent a lot of time in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Mm. If we just go about the experimentations and stuff,
Mhm.
um, like, do we still roll and everything, or do you just take our suggestions? Like, ta-da, you have it.
Well, I wouldn't say that you just have it, especially
Yeah.
because some of your ideas are a bit advanced. Probably some roles would probably be involved. So I guess we can play it now then. All of
Yeah.
you going
Mm-hmm.
like, uh, okay, all right. So setting the scene then. You are in the laboratory. There are hundreds of different pods, all with a similar liquid inside. It is not the same liquid for each of them, as there is a different method, or it seems to be a different method of preservation, or even transmutation, because there is an active change within some of the pods. Again, this is not just a preservation pod. This is not just like a zoo, or an aquarium. This is an active place of experimentation, and there is a sense of evolution in some of them. As I've already described last week, there are even uh, some that are next to each other that give off this impression of analyzing pretty scientifically what are the effects, different effects of different sorts of inputs that Atul has placed inside of the thing to be observed. There is in all of them, there is a there is for sure 10 of these different pods that resemble her many forms. So you've seen I have described the ghost one, the ethereal one. Then there is also a vaporous one that exists swirling around inside of a tank, being alive and molding with the liquid. It is almost as if it is boiling the liquid that it is in. Uh, there is no actual firebird. There are different birds that you see that have different colors,
Mhm.
that have different colored pods, giving the impression that perhaps they are triggered by different elements. And there are actually a lot of experimentations with birds and different Aarakocras even. And then you have the many different forms of naturally camouflaging creatures. You can see through the movement of the gel, the movement within this preservation or transmutation gel by itself ends up revealing their position. And some of them are actually quite aware of you, or seem to reciprocate, partially mimic even your movements. But these range from forms that are very similar to the one that she has taken with this uh, almost chameleon, but others are more grung, and others still more looking like dolphins. So there is perhaps even the the idea in her experimental mind of different sorts of creatures serving for better camouflage in different circumstances, different scenarios. There are many rocks as well. Some of them seem to be just plain old rocks that have been put inside of this chamber. Others are clearly elementals made out of the desert. There is one that is purely sand, whose very movement slows the slows and basically is slowed by the gel that it is in, basically creating a sort of very slow hurricane within itself, trying to be tamed. There are various turtles as well. Turtles, like turtle type creatures. Some much more hideously deformed, looking more like the idea of a snapjaw turtle, more aggressively formed. Others more beautifully formed. And these perhaps were meant more for inspiration for Atal when taking these forms. It's not entirely clear to you how Atal took these forms. If Atal was a pure um, changeling that would simply be able to directly mimic, or there would be a trigger, some sort of intake of blood that could be required. There are different tar forms as well, some of them resembling more fairies and more and to Justin even looking like well actually yeah, to Justin and Orava even looking like Mook, but again filled with this disgusting tar that the pot itself is difficult to see because of it, but there's obviously the movement of something that looks like a fairy. But others are much more different. One is even just picking up a jaguar and having it emit this disgusting tar or liquid or acid, perhaps, as you would need to actually analyze the liquid within. The grand majority of the creatures within the pods are alive. Obviously, there are some that are merely like pieces of a tentacle of a kraken, but even that is being preserved through some sort of magical energy to stay itself alive. There are 10 different forms of mosquitoes, all of them being of slightly different sizes, uh, but without analyzing it closely, they seem very similar. What is what comes to your mind is perhaps that they have mutated the different sorts of disease within themselves. And obviously, the unleashing of some of these highly mutated monsters into the world would be probably very dangerous. Vines and mushrooms are also common here, but she seems to have honed in fairly quickly on this optimal vine form that the pod itself is surrounded by these spines that protrude inward, almost as if it is actively always trying to break out of a self contained vine ball. And lastly, there are 4 aquatic creatures to which the gel is actually very different. It seems much less viscous than the one that you actually than the ones that are present on most of the others. And they seem sentient enough to swim, even being able to speak and emit some sound, clearly desiring your attention and to be freed in general. So this is the outlook of all of them. There is one that resembles her, well, I guess you didn't see it, but her siren form, which is again an aquatic creature, very much like the image that, well, you didn't get to see, but very much like this image of a scaled mix of a fish and a bird, carrying both of these ideas and perhaps using it to its maximum. This is the creature that has the thickest layer of the pod, to the point that it's almost difficult to see inside, perhaps implying that it is difficult to either that there is a certain amount of pressure that ought to be kept, or that Atul was afraid of this one freeing itself, perhaps more than most of the others. Justin, if it's okay, we'll start with you. You had an idea of for this, for what you would want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, first of all, is that idea viable?
Yes. The best way to
Right.
do this, the best way to do this would be to make it out of the scales of the siren creature. If you were to skin that creature, make it out of its scales,
Perfect.
her natural warding protection against magic would pass on to you. And it wouldn't really be that difficult to make. You would need to skin her and obviously kill her.
Nice.
Unless you want to.
I guess the most humane
It,
way, since she's immune to magic, is to use the soul cutter to stun it, then drain the capsule, and then just drain the jugular while she's stunned.
Mhm. Yeah, that would be the best. The that would be the best, the easiest way
Efficient.
to go about it. Yes, certainly the easiest. Okay, you approach her pod. Then she looks at you, places her hand on this obsidian-like uh, glass, seeking to, in her looking at you, show a show an innocence that begs for mercy.
Yeah, won't find it here. It's just plain work mode for Justin.
Okay, she cannot speak, and you can see that her throat even carries a scar, as she was purposefully made to not speak.
Hmm. Don't you worry, we'll put you out of it.
Okay, how do you proceed then to kill her?
Yeah, soul cutter, stun,
Mm-hmm.
and then I go and break the neck.
Okay, right. The
The stun
pod
doesn't hold that
reacts.
long to let her bleed out.
No, but the pod reacts to you attempting to get in. It even moves and sort of warps itself, allowing you to pass through its barriers without actually being stuck by it. You proceed to enter, or at least move your hand within, and again you sense the viscosity of it, and it immediately grasps on to your dead body, and you feel the small blood vessels again starting to heat, and you actually start feeling again this tingling cold of
Oh,
being alive.
that's some potent thing.
There is not enough space for her to hide, and you are able to just prick her enough to get her stunned. Will you
And then
rupture the
it's
pod and let the liquids out? Or will
uh
you bring her out of the pod?
the same way I got in without destroying the pot and letting the liquid out.
Okay, all right. pod reacts to you grabbing her, or it, or he, could be he in this case, you don't know. And as you are grabbing this creature out, the pod rejects you pulling it out, almost as if the pod is made to not allow the creature that is within out.
Is her neck healing?
Her neck is not healing. No, her neck
All
is
right, then.
scarred in a way that has been. I mean, you are observant, so you know that the way that it was done so that it would not heal.
Nice. So I guess she won't recover from her death, and she won't recover from her having lost her voice. What? So I can't take her out while the pod is active. So I try to take a scale off and try to put a scale through.
No, the scale will also be rejected.
Huh.
Anything
All
that
right.
is hers will not leave this.
All right. So I have to find a way to deactivate the pod and drain the liquid.
Yes, or you break the pod and the liquid just runs out.
Nah, I don't want to break the pod since Klaatu's having use for it, but I'm going to go out and try to find the turn off switch.
Okay, make an Arcana check.
Mm.
All right, I'll go and call over to Klaatu. Look over here. Seems
Yeah.
like for me to be able to take out the corpse.
Oh, you
we
can
need-
break it.
Oh no, actually we just need to find the mechanism because you want to operate it, so get your head working,
I
right?
don't need 12 for them.
Yeah,
I
but you
guess.
need to know how they work. So this is one test. All right, now look for the switch with me.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Do it.
24.
Okay. There is not a direct switch, but there is a. All of these have a similar spike to the ones that you found in the. Ooh, I forgot the name of the guy. In the dungeon of the mermaid man that you killed. What was the name?
Yeah.
Basically, you remember
Yeah,
that for
yeah, yeah.
his special lair, he had a special. There was a pike that you would essentially press your hand into to feed it blood. In this way, it seems that the blood feeds off of your intent and would obey the intent of the one that is pressing against it.
Oh, all right. So with the intent of getting her out of the pot, Justin puts his hand in the thing and zip.
Okay. Well, hmm. Justin, does Justin bleed considering his undeadness?
The blood is like it's. I imagine it like venom, since most of it is just borrowed from Legion and recreated by Legion. I feel like if you cut his skin, Legion will fake a little bit of blood coming out, but there will never be a drop leaving the body, and sometime later it just closes up. So
Okay.
he might just stab himself, and then the needle goes back bloodless.
You stab yourself. I mean, the thing is, blood needs to go into the needle, and I'm not sure if your body does that.
Yeah, probably not. No. So Justin
So
looks at
as
it and says, "Oh, the pot's probably broken. You try it.
Yeah, sure. Broken.
You try it."
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I let my hand stab. Ow! Oh, fuck it. Go open.
it doesn't hurt that much, but the
Yeah.
wound is actually fairly deep. It drains a little bit of your blood. What is your intent, Klaatu, with this?
To open the pot so that the thing can slide out. Perhaps some liquid will stay there in this
Okay.
way.
The blood from the place that you from that needle, the blood then courses, making a stream around this circular, around the circle that is the obsidian that is creating this glass, and the obsidian is pulled back and almost swallowed to the top of the pod. A course of this gelatinous liquid oozes out, and immediately the creature, upon recognizing this and not being stunned anymore, will attempt to dart through Justin and Klaatu, try to fly away.
It's
Justin,
immune to.
what would you want to do in this case? The creature is alive. It basically tries to dash at you and out.
Oh, I thought I broke its neck.
Oh.
That's why I stunned it, to
Okay,
kill it.
all right. Okay. Okay. Hence the question of its if it's
healing,
neck
yeah.
is healing. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I thought that question was regarding to that initial scar from the.
No. When Justin noticed that he got some feeling in his body back, he
Mhm.
wanted to make sure that the creature stays dead.
Okay. All right.
You tell me.
So in this case, you would stab it, break its neck. It would remain dead. Yes.
Nice.
It would remain dead, and as the pot opens, the creature just is almost puked out of this gelatinous liquid, kind of like Neo out when he leaves the pods in the Matrix for the first time,
Yeah.
all surrounded in this slime.
Right. So Justin kneels down next to her and takes out his little tools, starts to cut away the little scales. It says, "Sir, if you need help, I'll be here. I can come and help you guys with the pots or whatever."
Yeah, you have it. I guess. If you need help, say so. Mist.
Yeah. In the appliance process later. Need your
Mist.
mending.
I got a stab wound. I need to be healed. Just a little bit for the recovery.
I will reach over to him, grab his hand, and just use 5 points of lay on hands.
It was definitely less than 5 points of damage, but the way that Klaatu is, it does feel like it hurt a lot more than it should. Now that you are pressing out of it, like it was not really made for your biology.
Oh, thanks, Mist. You are just the best. I feel I have to let me stab a few times to get know of this cloning pots. Perhaps I can modify them to fit more of my interests.
Okay,
And
well,
I will study these pots.
keep
Let's-
that paper in mind when it comes to my interests. Okay.
Sure,
Okay.
always. So I will study these cloning pots with, I don't know, Arcana and Investigation.
Okay. Do you want to study the liquid or the pod itself? Are you trying to focus on anything or just trying to get general knowledge?
For my cloning spell, I need actually both. The liquid is not so important for my cloning spell, so I think I will more study the pot in itself, if it would fit for my spell, necromancy work.
Justin looks up from the scaly corpse, looks to Orba and says, "The liquid inside those pots is actually some extreme healing capabilities."
Mm.
Oh yeah, I think I could use that after the last fight.
Just let you step and then go in and heal yourself. How about that? We can get you out anytime.
Oh no,
But
I
wait,
don't
I
need
will
healing
study them
now.
first.
I just needed more in the fight.
Yeah, that also. But I'm onto it. And I just use the 2. They're actually like same stat, so it doesn't. Oh, hello! I take the Arcana with the crit.
Mm-hmm.
My re-rolling investigation.
This pod was meant to contain and help grow things. If you were to cast a clone spell by using these pods and the liquid within, you would speed up the process of creating the clone from it.
Oh, nice.
The
So
problem
it is.
is that the pod was created with the intent of keeping whatever it is in it. So
Mhm.
you would need to magically reform the mechanism so that it would release the creature within automatically, or upon some trigger,
Mhm.
basically. Because yes, you can put yourself in a clone here, but if you were to do so, should your body die, you would just be another one of the creatures that's stuck
That's-
to it.
Yeah. So I have to make a trigger like when the soul comes into the clone body, it will spit me out. That would be
Yeah,
like.
just have the chamber
Oh,
have a
comes in.
lever from the inside.
Yeah, also-
Just make it so that you can
solve
use it with your body.
You can solve it mechanically or magically.
Would do it magically, of course. Would make it another
Magically,
trigger.
what you would want to make is you would need to make a magic jar. You know, like the soul, the
Mhm.
spell, the magic jar,
Yes.
in a way that your soul, when it triggers, part of it passes through the magic jar, activating it and activating this magical mechanism of opening it. It's not too difficult, but you would need to make all of them for. You would need to make a magic jar for each of them.
Mhm.
For each of the pods that you would want to make. I mean.
Yeah, I think I
So,
will
and
take some.
what is your question? Your special question regarding this?
Yeah. Mm. I would like to know if I want to replicate one of these pots or the fluid in it, how long it would take and what do I need.
What do you mean you would want to replicate?
Like if in the future I want to have another base where I want to replicate one of these pots in, so my clone would stay there, not in the Mushroom Kingdom. So what do you need to make these?
Okay.
Do I need like
The material. Okay. The material that makes this is
Mm.
an infusion of obsidian with Titan's blood
Mm.
mixed with what the best way to be called this is flesh.
Yeah.
The plot is organic, flesh-based construct.
Yeah, I
The
thought
fact that it is made of flesh makes it much more malleable and much more helpful in doing what you seek to do. So when you stabbed it, you gave the pod blood that activated it, basically, kind of like an electricity of some kind, like an electrical charge.
So obsidian.
It is not difficult to make this flesh, but you can either choose to grow it or to actually grow the flesh, or get a bunch of flesh, like as in dead bodies, and merge them into this one single flesh thing. But essentially all of these pods are different flesh constructs that then have this barrier of obsidian with Titan's blood.
Okay. But it's cloning pots. Gut. Gut. Yeah, so I imagine the fluid is also some organic flesh stuff.
That the what? Sorry.
The fluid contains also flesh or some organic stuff. Oh, David,
The
you
fluid is
are.
not flesh. The fluid is not flesh, but plant. It is
Someone is
plant-based.
making noise.
Yeah.
Oh, well, is it stopped now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was it?
Pausing.
Plant?
The
Plant-based?
fluid itself is based on plants.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
it is in a way, it reminds you a little bit of Uxafon's garden, the magical potency of that water, but highly tainted by by blood magic.
Okay.
So yes, I mean, with enough materials, plant-like and flesh, you could replicate this. It would be difficult to do because it would be difficult to replicate, not only because of the precise technique that Atal used for all of this time, but also there is a balance that Atal has done in creating the flesh itself. But it is possible to create these pods. I mean, in your mind, you think that, okay, well, if you can't make the flesh sturdy, which is part of the great question of how this flesh has grown into this way, you know enough of necromancy to think, okay, well, I can actually put bones here to support the structure, and instead of maybe the obsidian, I could just have like obsidian and Titan's blood. You could have glass with powdered skeleton bones that would react to magical influence.
To make it more my style, yeah, that was
Yeah,
something I was
so-
thinking because I don't want to use flash, but I want to kill.
Mhm.
So
The
I would resign.
construct itself, yeah, to construct it, if you want something similar to this, you will need a certain amount of flesh.
Mhm.
Necromantic energy can help somewhat. Like, you can replace most of the structure to be bone, but part of the way that it feeds this green goo that's inside is through a sort of fleshy excrement. The whole process is definitely not pretty.
Yeah. Okay, good, but that is really good to know. Then I can start creating clones in here. So guys, I think I like this place a lot. And even if we don't stay here forever, I will set up a clone for myself in here. I will clean one of these pots and put flesh of myself in there. And then I cast clone. And when we have a good, proper place, I will replicate these pots for us in my style. But
All right.
also I have to, at least one of these pots I have to modify for my needs so that I can come out by myself. I could use a magic jar. But
How long
things
is
I
it
don't
gonna
actually.
take?
What?
How long is it gonna take?
The preparation?
Yes.
Oh,
What do you want to do?
the spell clone himself itself, it's really easy. It's just an hour. The modification of the pot, I don't know right now. I have to look. But yeah. Also, we can replicate the fluid in it. I think it's base with some blood magic.
Gonna go
I think I can do it. I will write it down for you, Auraba. Very interesting. No, I'm kind of sad that Adel is dead, but otherwise, looking at the scenery, perhaps it's good that it is away.
Yeah. Probably would have just ended up inside one of those capsules.
Not me, I guess. I'm just human. But Miss, definitely, yes.
You are
Yeah.
actually able to find, Justin, that there are some unused ones, and there definitely has been the intent of acquiring new subjects for sure.
Who as a subject?
New subjects.
To acquire new subjects.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I count those. How many? How many new ones?
Well, there are 7 that have grown recently.
Hmm. All right. Look, 7 new capsules. Martinella, Martino, May, you, and you. Oh, that's 7. What a coincidence.
Could be a coincidence.
Hmm. Since she's always been such a friend of ours.
Oh, that's
Ah.
good. They are already empty. Perfect. I
Who
was
can I
done now.
trust?
One of them. Are they plated? Like, are the plants like standing there? Klaatu, mist, chested. With little plates.
They don't have plates, but they have different sorts of gels and liquids already prepared.
Ah, yeah.
And one of them is shorter.
Arba, this cloning pot is for you.
Wow.
Give me your
Okay.
flesh.
So I don't think it's a coincidence anymore.
Are you still so sorry she's dead?
I was just curious. We could have learned, but that's alright. I learned it from this.
How much do you need?
Flesh from you? Oh, now you want to clone yourself. Nice.
I thought
I
we all
knew
do it
you come
now.
to your senses. It's 1 cubic. 1 cubic inch.
Ah, 1 cubic inch.
Yeah,
Easy.
sorry. I don't know how much that is.
Like 1 cube of flesh would have been half his body.
16 cubic centimeter. That is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is
That's
quite
a
a
good
chunk.
portion of flesh.
Yeah, it's a good portion of flesh we need to cut away. How would you like it to be taken?
I will take my fucking leg. No, not yet. I need it, but you know. I don't know what.
You
I
going to
think.
cut it out yourself?
Oh, no. I'm under deep narcotics when this is happening.
So who's going to do it for you?
Oh, no, not yet. I have to prepare the pots. Otherwise, we were just trapped in there. So I will make it magically,
I
but
think this could be dangerous anyway. Don't you think she maybe has a clone somewhere else as well?
I think when this is her base. Oh no, we killed her soul, so she can't be cloned anymore.
Yeah,
Clone is like
no.
when you die, your soul lifts up and go to a realm that, well, wherever you go. I think I will go to hell or so. But this soul transforms back into the body of the cloning pot, and then you are again alive. Like you just inherit a new body. You can be young again and everything. Oh, it's so perfect. And also, I don't want to go to hell. Although I'm a kind of nice guy, right? And I look at the group. Am
Yeah, I don't know. Let's say you killed the archfey you slept with, maybe even married him. So that's kind of murder. That's another time you've murdered someone. Get me cast that big spell and murdered a bunch of people. Then you rope us into your selfish bullshit all the time.
I
Brought us into the castle of your friends. We took your friends with us. Your friends stole from us.
I helped you this time with, and you know, sometimes,
What?
right? That
What
adds
time
up.
you have to?
Oh, my skeletons cook
Yeah.
for you every day.
You did help me with the mending. That's a good skill you have, yeah. But I don't know if that makes a good person, you know? I don't know. What makes a good person? Justin looks at Mist.
Good again.
Just kind of jokingly backhand Jackson.
Sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh.
Jackson in the chest and be like, leave him alone. He's a good
You
person for the most part.
for the
Justin.
most part.
You can observe that there is a new pod that is growing. It is growing rapidly, and it forms itself quite quickly with something within that is growing even faster.
Oh shit, guys, look at that pot. And I go over there and put my hand on it, prepared to cast negative energy flood.
Mhm.
So I stop descaling the corpse.
I investigate that. What is growing in there?
Right. Whatever is in there has an undefined form. It is constantly shifting between forms as well. What you do guess, Klaatu, is that this might be her Atol's clone backup.
Oh,
Without the soul, you don't know what's going to happen to it.
yeah.
You might end up with just the body being prepared, but not the soul.
Okay, this is a new body of Atul, but as I said, with no soul, this is gonna be tricky. I'm curious though. I never saw that. Never was described in any of the books I read.
Justin's also very curiously looking at it.
Don't you want to put your soul in there, Klaatu?
Oh no, I don't want Atul's
I
body.
mean, it's
Thanks.
probably a pretty good body, right?
Oh no,
Do
fuck
you
no.
want to have it, Oroba?
I did so much for this.
Would it be
You wanna have
possible?
it?
With my new dagger, I'll be able to maybe cut away some pieces of you and put it in there. Do you want that, Oroba?
What would happen to me, like my body?
That's a good question. I don't have the slightest clue.
I think about that. Will they merge like a Atul gnome?
You can try to make an Arcana check. Probably be the best way.
Rumbling together?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm guessing you and Justin and Orab are sort of brainstorming this. Odds are that Oraba's form would end up being absorbed into Atol's as well. So
Oh.
you would have so Atol would gain the new form that is Oraba.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
But then
boy.
you would also be Atol. I mean, obviously you don't know what sort of there is a difference between your soul and your psychology. And this creature could have a psychology that is very different from yours. So even with your soul, if you possess the body of someone with let's see, yeah, if you possess someone with the body of someone who is high in that moment, you are going to experience the same highness as that person. So that's what I mean with like physical or rather psychiatric alterations are going to be present, most likely, for good or
Yeah.
for evil. You don't know.
It could be that like my soul is not like the body is too crazy, basically.
I think more like
Yes.
Okay.
It's like the body might be crazy. The body might come with a specific way of viewing the world that is very different. It wouldn't be different in a moral sense, it would be different in a physical sense. And
I
that
see, yeah.
physical sense could end up manipulating you. For example, if someone has an intensely paranoid psyche, that could carry on for you to be in a constant fear of your friends, even if you know that they are not even if you know that they are not a threat.
Oh, new personality trait.
Yes. All sorts of madnesses could come from this.
Oh no. Oh, wanna make some roulette with your soul? I won't recommend it, but you can do it.
I was just thinking about it, but I think it's too dangerous.
Yeah, it sounds like you might come out being the next face stealer. So,
What do you
erase
do?
it?
Wanna see it? Wanna erase it?
I want to erase it.
No. Okay.
Yeah?
I have to say I second that one.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Let's go.
Justin sends a negative energy flood in there.
Okay. The negative and the negative energy quickly makes work out of this, and the creature is expelled. This, like, I guess it would be like an aborted. It's not a fetus because the creature is already resembling a yuan-ti of age 5. It was growing really, really quickly,
Whoa.
and the pod just dies, shrivels away, and exhales this dead part that, even dead, seems to sort of shift between some part of its forms until it finally stays still, properly dead.
Oh, that's sad. But there we have some flesh for growing more pots. Recycling is the greatest. And I take the young child and put it in a corner for later uses. And
Oh.
embalm it with some herbs so it will stay fresh a longer time with medicine. Orba, can you help me with that?
Sure.
Oh, thanks. Just hold here, and can you crush the herbs? I think you are stronger than me, actually.
You really think?
I don't know, I guess. You seem so sturdy.
That's just
It's
the way we build.
Well, I'm built like a glass cannon.
Also, what this journey has already made of you.
Actually have 9 strength.
Oh yeah, 1 point higher.
Oh, okay.
Who's the tough man now?
Yeah. So I preserve the body for another cloning pod, perhaps.
Okay.
And then
Just
try
write it
to.
in your character sheet that you have this, because I'm gonna forget this stuff.
Yeah, totally. It's all right. Yeah. Thing is, I don't know the spell magic jar yet. I never learned it. Wanted to pick it up, but yeah, the soul thing is not so clear to thing. But if I need it now, I will learn it somehow. I don't know. Perhaps looking in my magic book, studying a bit or so.
I mean, again, if you speak with Justin, he can invent some practical mechanical solution to it.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
I obviously cannot guarantee it, but
But then
Can you
Justin will be so cocky all the time. I don't
Can you
know.
afford my services even?
Oh, fuck the shitty contracts again. I look at Justin a long time, like really thinking about the option. Oh,
In your head, you see many, many variations of Justin going about this plan. Yeah, no, we could put a lever here. No, it'll be easier. Switch magic. That shit. Trust the lever.
Justin, can you afford my services?
Sorry. The healing you provide?
Yes.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
You're still paying off with healing that arm of yours.
Well, I think it would be appropriate that you aid us in our endeavors, and I will make sure to keep you alive.
I will.
Or
Here's the thing. You can do your magic after a good night's sleep again, and then you just magic our wounds away the next thing out of nothing.
Well,
That's
there's a little
not
more
my
little more to it, but go on.
It's a dilemma. Every day, every time someone of you asks me if I can do something, it's a dilemma. Because I have to keep everything in check. If I lose too much of my working components, which we haven't been able to really stock up, I've just gotten lucky picking some scraps up on the way. Melting the iron with the fabricate spell of yours now, but
Yes, thanks.
it is a give and take, but still I have to manage resources.
Okay, I can
So it all depends.
I respect that.
And did I not just whip up great masks for everyone with the help of Oraba?
You did, and we appreciate that.
See, and did I bill you for that?
No, and we appreciate that as well.
Yeah, but now, here comes the thing. Klaatu, the way he has been looking at me the whole time, he's asking for something big.
What? I'm not looking, I'm thinking.
Yeah, the way you've been thinking has been pretty loudly been forming to a question, bugging me while I'm frigging one by one taking off the scales of the siren creature.
Shit. I still talk out loud when I think?
No. I was
good.
just trying to say that your face
Well, I
was
have to
giving
admit,
away your
Klaatu,
intent.
it was pretty obvious that you were gonna ask him to help you with it.
Oh,
I mean, even I saw that.
man.
So you don't want to be stuck in those pots, right?
Yeah.
Alright, the simplest solution would be to just take a hammer and put it in the inside. So once you wake up with a clone, you can just smash your way out.
As if. Look at
Seems
my
like a
body.
really
I won't
low-tech
break glass. I can't do that.
It'll be a first fight for survival in the new world. What you born yourself into, but
God. No. That's not a good option.
well, the problem here, mate, is, and
I'm-
Justin walks around the pot and keeps knocking against it, and it makes schlicks noises and splash noises, and he's like, problem here, matey, is that all of that is flesh and biological matter. I don't work with stuff like that.
Yeah. How about, like, you made a door. Can you make automatic doors?
Can you make a simple switch to open it from the inside?
Yeah, but how like I said before, if we are going to build a lever, no problem. But it seems I would need to build a muscle, and that's something I can't do.
Oh, I can help you with that.
Are you sure? If we can build muscles, then that's not a problem. Look how the pod works, and Justin goes and just has a look at the pod, how the door works, and the idea is that two muscles would notice that the mass is increasing inside the pot via a switch. You just make more water come in, more water, more liquid, and then the muscles respond to a certain fillage and just open and spill out whatever is inside.
Well, we have a perfect body here. I can fabricate muscles with that.
Yeah, but do we need to do that now?
Not right now.
I mean, if you're not in a hurry, you could just mend off all those scales from a dead body, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And here I am. Like, I've been peeling off like 15 in the time you were talking that shit. Oh, fucking hell! Come on here. drag your ass towards the corpse. All right, just all of the scales, as many as you can get, without any of his flesh on them.
Okay, I'll
I
grab
know that many.
my dagger and help.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check.
Me?
With help. Who was the person taking charge of this?
Justin.
Justin.
Hand.
Okay. All right. Justin, then make a sleight of hand check with advantage because of. Because of mist.
Sleight of hand. Advantage. Ooh. 23.
Okay. All right. With a 23, with Mist's help, you are able to learn of a technique that helps end up with the dagger peeling off a lot of them at a time. And then you find that actually, like, the whole lower body, the mermaid body of the creature, just sort of sheds off. Kind of like when you're pulling the skin off of a rabbit. You just sort of pull it and you just pull it off.
Mhm.
And that you've kind of
Oh.
wasted the last 15 minutes.
Oh, god damn it.
Mhm.
Right. So now I'm washing them off and preparing for them to get assembled on the vest. So the idea is for them to be on the inside of the vest
Mhm.
and to make a cut on the back so that I can flip it. So it'll be like a suit up moment. And the moment he suits up, he turns into a disco ball on the battlefield.
Mhm.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if they are reflecting. If they're not reflecting, then
There,
he's just
there,
having
there,
the
there are two ways.
sickest scale
There are two
suit.
ways to do this. One would be okay. There are two ways to do it. One would be you make a spell. You make a like a sort of cloak of protection out of your vest of jests that makes it so that you gain advantage against spell saving throws against you. So it's a passive thing. Or you can make it a reaction that perhaps 3 times a day you can cast an X level counter spell against a spell that is targeting a location that you are included in. What would you prefer?
Hmm. The counter spell.
The counter spell. Okay. All right then.
Well, before you do that, let me say something, Justin. Think
Yeah.
about how many times in that last combat we had to do saving throws. It was way more than 3.
I know. I know I should go for that.
And if you go the other route, you get advantage on each one of those saving throws.
Yeah. I'd be a little gnome. Uh,
Better because you get all saving throws. That's just my opinion. I mean, you do what you want to do. It's just I felt like I should share my opinion on it. That's all.
can I throw a third option in the mix?
Sure.
So it would be another passive bonus that the siren had, which was that she had this cunning dodge. Whenever she makes a successful saving throw, she takes no damage.
Okay.
You basically want
So
evasion.
Okay.
yes, evasion.
That would make it. Her cunning dodge was against magic. So if you want, yes, we can do it like that. That if you succeed on a magical spell, on a saving throw against magic,
Yes,
you get no secondary effects whatsoever.
yes, and that's pretty weak on its own.
Yeah.
Well, Don't downplay it
That's
that much, David.
it's pretty good getting evasion on magical effects. So yeah, I will take my third suggestion option
Okay,
and
but
go
it's only for
for
magical effects.
the scales make it so that magical effects. Yes, yes, yes.
Especially since evasion is only on dexterity saves. That's pretty awesome.
Yes, it's magical evasion.
Yes, and this is not a weak evasion either,
No, it's pretty
because
good.
like someone casts blight on you. If you succeed, you don't take any of the extra damage. Someone casts disintegrate, doesn't do the damage.
Yes,
Pretty awesome.
that's pretty awesome. Okay. Did I not yet do it? Okay, I will add that to the upgrades on the Vest of Jests
Mm-hmm.
as the others go about their business.
Orba, you want to go next?
Yeah, didn't someone already point out the healing ones?
No,
Like
we don't
the
need to
healing pot.
The liquid
Yeah,
inside is
Mm-hmm. So, there are various types of potions that you can try to do, Oraba. Depending on how long you stay here, you can end up making all of them, but each of them would take time. You can make it like the tar, that you throw it and someone is slowed until they use an athletics or acrobatics check to remove the tar from them, which is strong to give slow on like it's like a non-concentration slow. But again, the person can get out of it through an action on its turn. The Another one is the healing, so that your painkiller bombs will always heal the amount set that they said that they heal, but on a crit they will heal double.
Ooh.
Nice.
Another one would be is like a ghost one with a noxious gas, making it so that people choke if they end up inhaling it. You could even put the disease from the mosquitoes.
Oh. Yeah, I think I'm
Oh, by
gonna
the way,
start. Yeah.
the disease of the mosquitoes was, where's Atul? Come on. The disease of the mosquitoes, and this was built specifically because I know that Miru Riza is as a nurse, you might recognize this. It was malaria. So you have the symptoms of headache, fatigue, abdominal pain, chills, muscle pain, and respiratory issues.
Sweet.
Nice.
I like it.
Each of them giving different effects, which are pretty violent in this case.
And super malaria.
Yeah, this is super malaria.
I'm gonna start with the healing one. I think that would be very useful because take some load off Mist's back.
I appreciate the thought.
All right then. Okay, let's do it like this then. You can just learn that way of doing it after working on a day of using the gel. If you want, you can preserve the gel. Preserving the gel would make it so that the healing, if you use the gel to make a potion of healing, that potion of healing heals double.
Nice. So it's like you roll 2d4 plus 2, and it just whatever you roll, you
And that
double.
is doubled.
Or
That
is
is doubled. So to not create any complications, you would have, okay, well, what's the lowest healing potion? It's 2d4 plus 4 or
Plus 2.
4 plus 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I would have 2d4 plus 2, so I have in this 5, it would be doubled 10.
Okay.
But like, if we would make it so that my healing bombs would heal, I would basically have to be able to copy the recipe, right? Or
Yes, you would need to find a way to copy her recipe. I mean, no, what I mean is you can you can learn the recipe by working on these pods for a day to make it so that your healing bombs, your painkiller bombs will always do the healing, and again on a crit the healing is doubled. What you could also do is spend the day studying the liquid itself in an attempt to replicate it or use it in your potions, which would be different than using it in your bombs.
no. I think I would start off with the bombs first and then see how long Klaatu is gonna take for his stuff, basically.
I will help you as well. I already have a good glimpse of what you need for the fluid. I will help you as much as I can, of course.
No, I mean, you can do your thing and I do mine, right?
I will benefit from this work too, so let's do it together. No problem. I don't have any hurry. I can live forever. This is going to work out well.
Until you're dominated.
Well, yes, this is another problem, right? Thanks, Mist. Always so considerate.
Sorry. Couldn't resist.
No, it's alright.
The realistic chance it could happen right now.
As
Stop
much as I
it.
hate it, he's not wrong.
Yeah, I know. Thanks. Getting paranoid again.
That's okay. If you get dominated, I'll just chop your leg off, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Just I think you should start right now. I don't think it's him speaking.
Hey.
I,
About a code word. If you don't. Yeah, we should have that, actually.
How can we ever
Like,
be sure otherwise?
when you don't know if I am myself, just ask me a question. I will. And the answer will be, I don't know, Oklahoma. No. How about. What was the name of my bar? I don't
Honey.
know. I don't think so. Or I don't know how the domination works. Do they have control over my head and my? I would think about the domination spell. Is it like they get my memory and stuff, or just my body and dominate me
Oh,
in their
I
will?
have a fail-safe way
It's
to know if you're dominated or not.
domination is a charm upon you, so you answer to the best way that you can. Just as if they tell you to cast a spell, you cast the spell to the best way that you can.
Mm,
It
okay.
is different from a possession.
but you would lie to cover it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
So
someone says, "Okay, well, look, tell me," yeah, unless they don't know to even get you to ask the question, for example.
Mm,
Like if it is something that it could work like you need to ask them a question to prove that you are not dominated, or you need to say something.
mm.
all right, I think the safest way would be for Miss to really just swing and that leg.
Yeah, probably. But
You just want me to
you
chop off
don't.
his leg right now? Is that what you're saying?
Hmm?
You just want me to
Yeah.
chop off his leg right now? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's what you said. I think he's going to suggest a time and a place whenever he's ready for it.
Yeah, when the club is ready. At least then.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
that really
Or
enough? Already chopping it off?
Well,
It is nuts, but if
It's
it goes wrong, I at least get my new body.
well, if the clone's ready, they'll just kill you, and you transfer to the clone, and
Yeah,
Hmm.
that was
Yeah.
my plan all along. But Justin said something like, "Oh, don't do it." I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, no, I said there's a possibility that it's not an imprint on the leg and the bone itself, but on his being, because he was formed into existence. So might just be that the clone carries the mark as well.
But I don't think so.
And he doesn't like to think in that direction, so we don't talk about it.
I see. And
So help.
I'll think on that for a little bit, and then turn to Klaatu. Okay, so Klaatu, what I want to do, with your help,
Yeah.
is I would like to gather the blood of one of these aquatic elemental creatures, one of these air elemental creatures,
Yeah.
and some of this fluid from
Okay.
the tubes, and mix it all together and tattoo it onto my back.
Ooh.
And hopefully, with that combination, I will be which will be tattooing on my back is the spell for Mists of Melora,
Oh.
which mechanically is the Aura Vitality spell.
Mhm.
And hopefully that will allow me to cast it and use this spell without expending resources or concentration.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Hint, hint, Mateus.
You can definitely be more creative than that. I mean, with the possibilities, you could even
Damn, that's so
you could even
creative already.
change your Genasi nature to be more attuned to healing.
Oh,
Huh?
and what would that do?
Well, you already are like a holy water Genasi.
Yes.
Make yourself a celestial water
Yeah.
being.
The thing is, you can either embrace your more like you can leave your humanoid side behind and embrace the genie side and become a, I guess it would be a holy water genie, fully
Oh.
changing yourself in the transmutation pod, and that would change it so that you would carry more evidently the defenses of such a creature, and also increase your healing capacity of it, on definitely on yourself for sure. Yeah. I don't want to end up shooting myself in the foot, but I would say that you could end up being almost like a healing genie, where you could choose. Yeah, I would say this something like this. You could choose perhaps once a day. Uh, Once a day, you would make it so that your next healing ability or spell would double the healing. Like, change yourself in a way. But obviously this would, I'm not sure how in touch with his Genasi nature he is. But it would definitely change you in such a way as to also perhaps not even be recognizable by the UNTs. There is something special. This you would know. There is something special in your Genasi nature that connects you to stronger healing. So you can try to enhance this, or even try to figure out why, understand this part of your own nature. Also, you can guess, like, you could try to understand why Genasi's exist in general, but you don't seem too fixated on that, which is fine.
Yeah, I would definitely like to understand and access the additional healing part of my nature.
Would you embrace a full change or no?
If that's
This
the
is
only way
purely
to.
optional. I mean, I'm not going to push it on you. It could be something that this can be done without doing this. But in a way, I am not saying that much because you don't even know you as a character could not know the results of this transformation.
Um. Yeah, sure. That works, I guess.
Okay.
And by genie, you mean the Merid specifically?
The what?
Merid? Because that's the water genie.
Mm-hmm. Depends on what you would put yourself, what you would put in yourself. I mean, you have the capacity here to change yourself in a radical way, because as you were saying, you can also put in the air elemental and perhaps even the ghost, the ethereal thing. Obviously, the more you put, the weirder you'll become, but the the potentially the more powerful you'll also end up being.
Well, I was adding the air elemental because, mist was, or the aura vitality spells. I was flavoring it as a mist that kind of comes out of me and heals.
Mm-hmm.
But mist of Melora. But it's not required if that's not what we're doing. That's what I'm.
It wouldn't be required. It's just a matter of I'm looking at a married, and do not look very pretty.
No, they don't.
Well, there are prettier ones that I'm seeing. They don't actually all look bad. Yeah, some of them are just water, just pure water. Others look more like a fish face. Okay.
I'm more partial to the pure water one.
I
FYI.
mean,
That's
she could
that's more what I
transform.
was thinking. I was thinking more of that than the fish one.
Good.
Um. Okay.
She could
We'll do it like
transform,
this then.
right? What if it's like a temporary form?
Could also be a temporary form, yes. That you could embrace if you would want to. If you would want to keep your mist still body, you could choose to transform into this
Yeah,
for
something
a
like a
period of time.
bonus action or something to
Yeah,
transform.
something like that. Hmm.
So it's something I
We'll
could
do it
do.
like this then.
Mist form.
If you want mist, you could also actually go for more of a vaporous form because of the name mist, but it's up to you. You tell me over the course of this week, because this is going to be difficult to come up on the spot, what exactly you would want to transform into. You find me an image of that sort of ideal form, and I'll see what bonuses to give also based on that.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. All right. But for sure you're going to get bonuses to healing, unless you choose to go for more like not healing bonuses, but more. Uh, Let me see. What do the Marids do?
I definitely want healing bonuses. I mean that's my thing. Just about everything I do has something to do with healing. That's the point.
If you go for an avatar kind of thing, it could be that you use a bonus action to transform into. Duration is a minute. And in that minute, you still do your healing mist, and it's active passively, and so forth and so forth. You can choose like 3-4 bonuses that happen, and then after 1 minute, it's done. That's the usual avatar modus. I know, because paladins have it.
I was thinking of something like that. I was thinking of approaching something like that.
Okay.
I think we did one for Justin as well. I'll look it up.
Paladins have an avatar kind of thing. So can I model it off that the paladin avatar thing?
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will figure it out this week then.
Okay then. Great. We'll just have to, just fine tune the details. But I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay.
Okay, so we have Oraba's idea, Klaatu's, Justin, and Mist. Are those all? Is that everything that you'd want to do with this? Do none of you want to embrace this transformation that Mist is going through?
I will
Well-
help him with the whole thing.
Yeah, that's time management question. How long does every one of us take for everything? Because if you say we can keep going,
Mist would probably need to be in the pod for a week
Oh.
to undergo this transformation.
I think that is
are
fine.
you ready for major upgrade time?
I was gonna say that if I have time outside of what I'm doing, I would like to
Mm-hmm.
preserve as much of that fluid as possible, so I could boost up healing potions as well. But if I'm gonna be the longest one, then ignore that.
Well, the thing is, with this form that you're taking, you could make yourself a merit of this sort of liquid
Okay.
and
What?
be
Okay.
like a genie of healing.
Okay.
You puke on someone and it heals them. Doesn't need to be that graphic.
Okay.
We kind of need the fluid of the big magic river and put it in there. Feed us with potential crazy magic. But no, that's too crazy. And possibly dangerous.
So if we're going to spend a week here, then we can utilize more of those creatures.
That's also true. Yes. That is
Uh,
also true. I would
really
say that,
sad.
Justin, you would be able to make your thing in a day.
Okay.
The upgraded Vest of Justice.
Yeah, but
You
I
have a
don't
pretty
want to
strong
abuse.
passive of the Tinker's tools. Check.
Okay, but the Vest of Jests is now 5.0. It's time to go on to other projects. Yeah, Justin will have a look at the elemental birds, and I will look for a fiery bird. And the thought is here to find out the quality that generates the fire and try to enhance the thongs to make stronger fire bullets.
Just FYI, the word is tong.
Thong.
Okay.
Yeah, thong is something different, right?
Yes.
I need to strengthen my thong with fire energy.
Okay. A song is
That
very
seems
different.
that seems like an I feel like that would be an upgrade for Klaatu.
I
Have a fire thong.
feel like he's already wearing fire thongs.
What the fuck is this
That-
song?
A thong?
Riemen? Flip-flop? Like footwork?
Well, that is.
Oh, or tanga? Tanga? Swim
Mm-hmm.
It's.
thing?
There are also the thong for the shoes.
Yes, there is that, but that's like a.
That's Australian or something.
Ah, I
Yeah.
see.
It's. A thong is a piece of underwear.
Oh, thanks. I don't want fiery thongs then.
Even if they would increase your performance.
Well, then we are talking no different stuff. We all know Klaatu. And
Plus
his
one saving throw to getting your clothes taken off. I mean,
I'm
it
not
happened
sure
to miss, right? Against the necromancer.
oh.
Oh my god. That's hilarious. It's hilarious just to think about that. Okay. All right then. So we're gonna go to the second day. If you're gonna spend a week in this place, the study and the magical nature of it is going to level you up a point. So all of you will level up
Oh my god.
Level 16?
because you are because you are staying in an intensely magical place and studying that intense magic. Studying,
Sweet.
experimenting, whatever.
Crazy. Okay. Jason, you have
Ooh.
crystals, right? And gems also.
Uh-huh.
How much?
A lot? No. Wait.
A lot, but I'm not sharing.
Yeah.
Do. So I have 10 gems. Small gems, 10.
Mm-hmm.
Each worth 100 gold pieces each.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 2 gems left that are worth 500.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but we need them for Revivify, perhaps. Otherwise, I could use them for a magic jar. But, oh no, we made the muscle thing going on, right? Then don't mind me.
Just watching.
Like, if we spend a whole week, couldn't we like try to master her recipe basically?
I would
Yes.
try so.
Yes. But no, you are not leveling up per week that you stay here.
Okay, we'll stay here for a month and we are done.
We come out as
The thing is,
gods.
I've actually worked with a friend of mine who works in prestige classes, and it might be the case, especially considering the nature of like the new world and the fights with the gods, that we might end up going into that level, if you guys choose to continue after you reach level 20.
Ooh.
Well, I'm always up for something
Ooh,
weird.
otherworldly patron feature. Ah.
You're
Legion's
already leveling
resilience.
up. I'm gonna do that
Ooh.
next. I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm too lazy.
What are you too lazy to do?
To level up right now.
Ah,
Chess is
Yeah.
already like David is
I'm
already.
I'm done soon. I'm getting a new feature from my Warlock Pact of Legion, which is Legion's Resilience. I can choose a resistance whenever I finish a short or long rest, and then I gain resistance to that damage type until I choose a different one with this feature.
okay.
But damage from magical weapons or silver weapons ignores the resistance.
Okay.
So basically, you can choose. No, never
Fire.
mind. Ignore me.
I can
Alright.
choose fire, but then if someone has a fire weapon, I'd still take the damage.
Mm-hmm.
I would also.
So,
Hmm?
let's start then with Justin, because you had a clearer idea of what you would like to experiment with. So you were
Well,
looking at the birds.
yes, the Firebird I'm interested in.
Okay.
So first, I told you I wanted to find out the quality, the essence of what the bird's elemental power is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. These birds are all constructed, even though there are natural phoenixes in the world, these ones are constructed to carry with them magical powers related to the elements that they are tied to.
Awesome.
You could so there are all manners of birds here, like at least 20 birds, some of them the same, replicated with in the same way, but they are all meant to carry with them an element. If you want to increase your capacity, you could drain one of these birds, choose an element, and bullets shot with that would deal more damage of that element, probably a D8, and would ignore resistances to that element.
Sorry, the last thing to
And would
resist.
ignore resistances. And yeah, and I think it would make sense also to ignore immunity of that element. So if you shoot with a bullet made by a phoenix that you would kill, that fire damage, all of the fire damage from that bullet would penetrate even a creature that is immune to fire.
Yeah. So the elements I already use are lightning and fire.
Mm-hmm.
So in a week time, would you say that I get to
In a week's time, you get two elements. You can either diversify or specialize.
diversify
Again, you don't
and
need to say it now
specialize
if you would want to.
each element? Well, let's be clear again, because it works differently. How would it work for the trial by fire bullets, and how would it work for the lightning barrel? Because the trial by fire bullets I can choose to activate and then shoot, and the lightning barrel is the last shot in the whole pepperbox round, so I need to go down to 6 shots.
They would work in the same way. So if you choose lightning, if you choose to upgrade your bullets with lightning, with this sort of like true lightning, let's say, when you would shoot with the lightning one, the sixth shot, you would when you would activate with the sixth shot, that shot's damage uh would penetrate the lightning, would
Resistances
penetrate
and immunities.
resistances and immunities to lightning. Not counter heal though, because counter heal is a special mechanic. Like the idea that when you get dealt fire damage, the fire phoenix gets healed.
Mhm.
That is not an immunity. That's a special ability.
Yeah, I'm not. That's. I'm creating a god slowly, not fast. Yeah, okay. So, in a week's time, I would concentrate this on the lightning.
Okay.
No,
All
no,
right.
the fire. Make a true fire bullets, a true fire tongue.
Okay. So I would say that then your bullets that you are able to make, each of these birds, I think, would give you 20 of these special bullets.
Now Now here's the thing where we went past each other again. So my
Mhm.
thought was to either upgrade it so that the tongs would add it permanently, or that the barrel would have it permanently.
Okay, sorry.
I don't want another box to track.
Okay.
I have
I
like
see.
2, 4, 6,
Mhm.
8, 10, 12, 14 boxes to track.
Okay, all right. Okay. I see. Okay. If that is the case, that you're improving the weapon directly. All right.
Yeah. That's how
Now
I
I
always try
understand the
to
confusion.
improve.
Okay, now I understand the confusion with the last bullet then. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll rephrase it then. I'll rephrase it. We'll do it like this. If you increase it with fire, because you already have your trial by fire, all of your bullets will deal plus 1d4 fire damage and will penetrate, and the fire damage will always penetrate that immunity to fire. Immunity and
Okay.
resistance. If you
Does
increase your lightning one, you make it so that you have 2 lightning barrels. So it's the first and second have special lightning, that special lightning damage.
Ooh.
That again, that lightning damage would always penetrate the lightning immunity and resistance.
Yeah, in that case, I'll take the second lightning round.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so I'll
Okay, then.
upgrade that.
And you have 2 elements of your choice. So this is the lightning one that you choose to. You also
Oh,
can have another one. So if you increase, for example, if you upgrade earth, that would make it so that your bullets pierce immunity to piercing, which might be more valuable depending on what you choose.
oh, okay. So all elements are present. There's fire, there's
All elements are
lightning.
present, yes,
Oh,
and
okay.
they would give different effects. I mean, if you want, you could even make it so that you have a bullet that heals people.
Uh,
You don't even have the healing knife yet.
Just shoot people with healing. I'm imagining that there's a girl from Overwatch that shoots people with healing. So yeah, I'm imagining it like that.
damn. Yeah, then I'm going to improve. I'm not going to diversify because that's just confusing on a character sheet. Like I know it's interesting to have like more elemental
I
damage, but
totally
it's
understand.
I'm going
The
for the fire thing.
complication.
So the bullets have true fire was each bullet
Mm-hmm.
1d4 fire
Mm-hmm. Oh, or I guess you could
and
also choose to have 2 of the lightning ones. So you could have every second shot, you have a special lightning bullet. Because again, you have 2 elements, the elements can be the same. If you
every
want to really
second shot
specialize.
has an additional 4d6. That's also a very intriguing offer. Yeah, let's go with lightning 2
Okay,
times.
I am all about intriguing offers. I feel like I would make a great demon.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Great
Devin, we're
quantity.
talking about D&D.
Can't argue with that.
Okay, so we'll do it like that then, Justin. You upgrade it so that it's your choice if you want to have 3 normal and 3 special, or if you want every second shot to be special.
Every
I'm not
second
sure
shot
what
is
is
going to be
easier to track.
every second shot is going to be a special lightning shot. Because then every
Okay.
turn I get to make a special lightning shot.
Okay. Yeah, so you have your like sneak attack damage.
Ah, imagine it, like it's a special kind of lightning now. I have to rephrase it. It's true.
Sorry, go ahead.
Every second shot of your pepper box, you make additional 46 lightning damage that ignores immunity and resistances. Ugh. Oof. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
but only the lightning. Only the lightning. Okay.
yeah.
That's okay. Specify that it's only the lightning.
I specify
But yes,
that
even that is pretty strong. Okay, right. Klaatu, what are you doing for the course of this week?
So I have a few chores. I will daily check up on Mist, how he's doing in his pot. I will help Oraba by finding the recipe of the fluid, because that will also benefit me if I will replicate one of the clone pots. And also I want to try to make a rope out of the earth elemental form from Atl by skinning it somehow. I have medicine skills, so I think I have some decent ways. Getting the essence and try to fabricate it into my current rope, like, I don't know, like runes or a nice stitching with a thread. Or I made an entirely new coat. I don't know if I need the whole thing, but yeah, that depends.
Okay, I can do it like this. There are two options with this, just as Justin had, and if you come up with a third one, then you can come up with a third one. One is you would have, as you wrote to me, that for 1 minute you have resistance to physical damage. Physical damage being piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing.
Yeah.
Or you could do it that as a reaction upon taking physical damage, you become immune. You can choose to become immune to all physical damage until the start of your next turn, kind of like a shield. Or rather, very much like a shield spell, but specific to that resistance. Well, actually, he was not immune to bludgeoning, so you cannot make yourself immune to bludgeoning, but that would make it confusing, so I'll make it so that physical damage. I don't want to really differentiate between the physical damages. I feel like that's more of a hassle than a help. What do you think of these choices?
The immunity is nice. How often would you think could I use this reaction?
Probably either once or twice a day.
Then I guess I would take the resistance for a minute, once per day.
Okay. Okay, all right.
So I don't get one-shotted that easy by a sword.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I guess that are the chores, unless Justin wants my help also.
Well, again, just as essentially each of you then has a choice to investigate 3 creatures or do 3 things. You have done your investigation of the cloning thing. You have done your investigation of Atl's stone form, and now you still have another one that you can do.
I would help with the fluids, I guess, or is that 1 point for you?
That would be that is a point that Orba already has, unless you want to give him your point, which is fine. I mean, again, I'm gonna have to think of something for Mist that is worth him spending 3 points on this.
Yeah. I think I would get my other point for another person. I would help so much that this person can study more. Because I have these two things, I'm pretty fine with that.
Are you sure you don't want to delve into necromancy or transmutation based on this thing?
There was a necromancer thing.
Well, there is no he didn't have a necromancy form per se, but you have like the powers of different diseases and such. You have powers of the tar. The tar is kind of necromantic.
Task.
Not exactly. You have the most are more transmutation than necromancy. That's true.
Mm.
Yeah, but what if you were able to make your skeletons heal every round with the help of the chameleon woman?
I will not give that because that is gonna be annoying. That is gonna be very annoying for not only for me but for Klaatu himself also, to be like heal every single skeleton.
It was a lot of work. And will take hours of fighting, so I'm cool with my skeletons as they are.
You could also, for example, take the chameleon form and upgrade your cloak with the. Well, you couldn't have both. You could not have both the
Yeah.
skin of the elemental and the skin of the chameleon. But the idea would be to give a cloak of displacement that gives people disadvantage on perception checks against you and on attacks against you, on ranged attacks against you. So you could set up defensively that way.
Yeah, it's sweet. But yeah, I guess if someone wants it, I will make it for it. So I'm really cool. If Justin or Orma wants one extra point to investigate, I will help.
All right then. Okay.
Mhm.
You seem sure about this, so we'll jump on to Oraba, or I guess maybe we'll go to Oraba and then see who else will get that point, because you can even give that point to Mist by channeling some magics into his pod if you have
Ooh.
it.
That's
I
also
would
cool.
totally do that also.
Yeah. But I also thought about making something for Miru, since she's not around, but still will be back.
Well, Miru will get her choice of the same, I think.
Yeah, but those choices will keep piling up, right? She's going to have that baby for some time.
Yeah, she's gonna come back. She's gonna have to like 6 things she has to figure out with her character. It's gonna totally change her character over over the time frame.
So we can give the character something.
It's likely that the game will end before she comes back.
Yeah.
But
Could be.
yeah, which is
probably accurate.
because of that, and because I am not gonna be the one playing Miru, I would. If you want to gift her like a flavor thing, that's fine, but it would. She is basically out of the party for this case. I mean, obviously she's welcome back, but
Okay. No, I get that.
babies are a full-time job.
Our goal must be to exchange the queen with Miru instead of and
Yeah.
rule the
Yeah.
forest with the plant lizard folk and all the others in perfect harmony. That must be
I think we should maybe if we can get this week by and we make it to the Duchess, we get some story rolling as to a final decision what to do with the queen. Been a roller coaster, right?
That's true for sure.
Okay.
Right, so let's go to Oraba then. Oraba is the one that still has choices now in this case, right?
Mm-hmm. You did one choice, which is the bombs,
Mm-hmm. So
which
you have
maybe
Yeah.
you should
bombs,
write
yeah,
down.
which is
You should write down as well, So your painkiller bombs can now heal, right?
Yeah, but they're already here, right? That's kind of nice. So if I press this, it already says 7 healing.
So what did you mean, Mateusz, by the heal now?
It's 44 right now.
But the
44
What I-
healing was only on a
What I
crit,
meant
though,
with the
wasn't
healing,
Yes.
yes, the healing was always on a crit. The point is now that
Okay.
it will always heal, but when it is a crit, it will heal double.
Nice. Alright, so you have to change the text on that.
Yes. I mean, I hope that you guys are the ones writing it down because I am not going
Um,
to
I
make
did
my-
the
I did my
changes that
homework.
are happening.
Doing it right now.
I'm leveled up and I have the new Vest of Jests and the new True Lightning Barrel.
So that's the first point for the bombs. Yeah.
Yes, 2 more points to go.
So then I wanted to learn about the fluids with Cloud
Okay.
Tool, right?
With what
Yeah,
sort
I
of
would have-
application?
So if I, like you said, you could also use it to enhance potions, right?
Ooh.
Yes.
But is there like a basic recipe for this liquid that then gets like infused with the different properties, basically?
If you want to learn the recipe for the basic liquid itself, that would cost you 2 points to do that. But you would learn to be able to make the liquid.
Yeah, I think that would be nice.
Yeah, take my point, I will help you.
Okay. All right. With this, you know how to make the liquid itself. The liquid itself, the that is the base of it, is primarily used for healing and preservation, which obviously the applications of this for you as an alchemist, even outside of just alchemically making potions, is very good because you put a little bit of that liquid in a barrel of fruits, for example, and they won't decay for a while. So you know of these pretty practical ideas.
Ah,
And again, because you were looking also for that beauty product, this can be very practical in that way as well. They To make the liquid, you will always need a little bit of Titan's blood.
of Titan's blood.
That
You will always need a little bit of Titan's blood, but it is not. But I would say that if you have a vial of Titan's blood, you would be able to make a lot of these types of potions, a lot of the liquids. The Titan's blood really isn't that necessary, but it is a key ingredient in that if you do not have
Yeah.
it, you cannot make it. But if you acquire, even if it is just a little bit, I will hand wave the necessity of it. Because it's only
I
like
don't know.
a tiny little drop of it that you would need to
Yeah.
make this liquid.
I think we still had some as well, like half a vial or something, right?
I gave you all of mine. I can't remember if you've.
By my count, we do have half a vial left.
Yeah.
Lucky.
I can produce vials now. We just need sand and fire. So
Oh no, not the vials in of itself, like the Titan blood vial.
okay.
Vial
But
of
was the
Titan blood.
Titan blood just human blood fused with magic and the earth?
No, it's just the
No,
normal one. We need
it's
the
like
from the Hydra.
it's like the
Ah.
dinosaur oil of this world.
Dinosaur oil.
I didn't think of it as dinosaur oil, but it somewhat fits.
It's
Sandstorm
underground.
juice.
Titan might be a dead creature. Come on. Titan
Oh, man.
juice. Love it.
Okay, so you know how to make it. I don't think that I need to give you the details of exactly how it is that it is made, but you know how to make it.
Yeah.
Right. Collectively, then, you still have 1 point, which is Klatu's. To whom does it go?
Should we help Mist more?
Yeah, I think we
To
should
help Mist's
definitely pump
transformation?
that fucking transformation.
All right. How are you pumping it up? What are you doing or casting to help in this case?
I cast Finger of Death. Nein.
I mean, I could like maybe try to
Negative
optimize.
energy field.
I blight
comes
him.
out. Mist came in as this like healer type, and he comes out as a tar monster.
Oh, that's a nice picture.
I think I could
Mm.
maybe, now that I know already about the liquid, I could like optimize his environment basically,
Mhm.
How
like
so?
the liquid. Yeah, like
No, what I
looking
mean is
at
this.
yeah.
What I mean with is this: all of your inputs will probably have a practical application in the conclusion of it. So if you
Mm.
say, I cast fireball into the liquid, he might actually come back with a certain resistance to fire.
So
Or
have
you might kill him. So
Yeah.
don't cast like Finger of Death or something like that.
wanna have
But
Vampiric
the
Touch.
If I use lay on hands, don't have lay on hands, I have healing word or something.
Or wanna have here my inner circle. Wanna speak telepathically?
No.
Okay. All right.
You
Well, the
Or
fact that you speak telepathically makes it so that you can speak with him as he is in the pod. So,
Ah,
Mist, you can now help. You can talk about what you want them to do to you.
so Mist. We can infuse you with some greater magic. We can speed up the process and make it better for you, so you have more cunning, or so, whatever you want. You know my spells, and you know our strength. Do you want something special? I could cast Misty Step on you, perhaps.
Haste.
Or even just teleport.
Haste.
Oh,
The ability
no.
to use haste.
you wanna have haste?
Yes.
He
I
loves haste.
I love haste. Haste is my jam.
Speed. And we say Orava is the one on drugs.
that extra action, the additional movement speed. Oh, that is so tasty.
Mm.
As a matter of fact, if I don't get haste out of something like this, I think I'm going to start going from looking for healing potion supplies to haste potion supplies and have beg Orba to keep making me haste potions.
I mean, I can make them basically as many as we want.
Yeah, I could totally live off of haste in our combats, guys.
So someone can cast haste? Can someone cast haste?
Unfortunately not. Not
Oraba?
me, at least.
No, I can't cast anything.
Well,
But we can.
you know the potion, so you can just drop it into the liquid.
Yeah,
Ah,
I
yeah,
mean
that's
that.
right.
we have the potion. We drop it in the liquid.
We drop some coffee into it.
Ooh. Ooh.
Just
I have
putting-
this potion of all resistances and something.
Oh shit. But he wanted the haste one. I don't know if we can do both.
Well, you can throw one in, I can throw one in, and Klatus can throw one in, if I understood it correctly.
You're just making like a big pot of potion.
Aw.
Like,
He's
three
Obelix.
witches on Mist is on this pot.
Are you
Is
talking
that
about
gonna
the
be-
potion that
What
makes you immune?
condiment?
immune to damage for like 3 rounds or 4 rounds or something like that?
No, you
Resistance
didn't have
to all
immune to
damage.
It's
damage, but you had resistance to all damage. Yeah.
Ah,
potion of resistance super. It's a super potion of resistance.
that
Yeah.
would be nice if you're not willing to, or if you're willing to part with it.
Well, it depends on what you want to do with that form, what you want to get out of it. I could also, as Justin, cast Dimension Door. I could give you a teleportation mobility thing to get to
But how
people,
would the
and
but how would that go into the thing? That's my question. Is whatever it is you're infusing needs to be infused into the liquid that then goes into mist.
okay. Oh, we're
So
throwing a wand, one of the wands. We could
the
do
the
that.
the wand
Wands
of
of
wonder.
Wonder?
Yeah. Can we give you a little randomness in the mix?
Oh God,
Could
no.
be pretty strong, could be pretty.
I don't
No.
think that would be a good idea, personally.
Okay.
Other
all right.
strong magical. Oh, the water. We have the water ring,
Oh, the bubble ring.
the
Oh,
bubble ring.
Bubble ring.
How
It is
about we
an
throw?
item of Vizier, though, right? Like,
yeah. And also, no, it's not an item of Vizier.
Now, to come
But
clear with everyone, the bubble ring is an extremely powerful ring that can hold items in an alternative dimension. It grants the wearer the powers to heal some others, but it also makes one be a kind of berserker kind of person, and the ring also craves to be fed with anything as it comes from the void and has tasted the void. It's become unpredictable, and it might consume the wearer.
Yeah, I'm not too big on the downsides of that ring, but I like the upsides.
Yeah, but are they worth the risk? In my head, if we throw that in, you might have to wrestle with the consciousness inside of the ring, and I have no idea how strong that consciousness is.
Yeah,
love
I mean,
the ring so
making mist
much.
like a void leviathan is an interesting idea.
I'm not so fond of it.
Good thing that mist can communicate with you and say what he's fond or not.
And
Did you just say do it?
No, no, I did not. Um, so what I've got so far,
Okay,
I
what you
was
have so far is a haste potion.
okay.
I don't think you have anything else yet.
I meant for the hopeful abilities of this change.
Okay.
Um,
I'm not measuring the ability. I'm measuring what is being put in, because being put in haste might make it so that your body grows faster until you develop into something beyond what you expected.
oh no.
oh,
So this is experimental insofar as you are not making arcane checks or into what exactly you're doing with this.
It's not me, right? I would do arcane checks, of course.
Now you're doing okay. Now that he said it.
The potion is already in, so
I would prefer the resistance potion over the ring. If I
Let's
had those
arcane check
options.
that. Oh, fuck.
Okay,
right.
yeah, I'm
Klaatu.
throwing in the potion of super resistances.
Okay, Klaatu. With a
Wait.
16, you do not know what's going to happen with a haste potion.
Okay, that will be interesting. Wait with this resistance. Let me see it first. Nope. And I take it and look at and yeah. What
Okay,
is
make another Arcana check. Arcana, I guess it would be Arcana or Nature. All right, you don't know what this one does either.
well? It's testing.
You're just looking at them and then handing them back. Why the fuss?
Well, you don't know when a great mind sparks.
Well, that's actually true, but looking at you, there hasn't been any spark yet, has there?
Not right now. It's a new.
Well, then I'm throwing it in. 3, 2, 1.
Oh fuck! Oh god, we're experimenting on a friend.
He wants
I
it.
thought I would never do that, and I thought my moral codex was weird.
The second time I'm helping a friend with their transformation, so please. Do you have anything to contribute?
Fireball, tongues, speak with dead.
Do you have anything liquid, already magical?
Again,
I'll
if
be
you
right back.
find a way, and if you tell me a way to infuse the liquid with the spell, then the spell can be infused with the liquid. But the results can be dire. Like if you cast Speak with the Dead, it might be that he can just see the dead forever.
Well, if you were to use the fire of the spell to make his water become more misty, and in my head I propose that to Mist. What if we were to slowly heat up the water inside you, like the liquid, so you become more of a misty kind of avatar creature?
Do we really want to do that? That sounds so
It
dangerous.
might hurt, but
I could also cast invisibility or dragon's breath.
I feel
but
like
how
Mist
would
is
you cast it
already
in the
being
water
put in
so
the
that it
wrong.
stays?
I just make him invisible and done all of my magic power into it. I can cast it like 1, 2, 3, 5, 8,
But then it wouldn't be inert, wouldn't it?
13.
Needs to be sustainable without you gone.
I can do it for 12 hours.
Without you there. Yeah.
I can soak this water with invisibility.
I don't know. I just hope, like, if what you said is right, the haste potion might make him grow faster, and this resistance potion might make it more durable against anything. So the question is what and how, because the potions just seem to fuse with the liquid.
Try to do something with that invisibility.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're cool with that?
Yeah, that
Okay.
being able to have a better chance of sneaking in would be nice, because I'm kind of at a disadvantage there with the rest of you.
Dude, even when you're invisible, you're going to leave a wet trail in that form. Don't bother.
Don't be such a pessimist.
No, it's just don't be idiots. You're going to be invisible, a huge water mass invisible, dripping and leaving water. No, you're not going to be invisible. You're already see-through transparent.
Well, with your great eyes, you can see anything. For me, mist is already invisible.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm just thinking all of you are quite a bit more stealthy than I am.
Not me, but
Yeah,
thank
so maybe you want to be more of a mist that doesn't make sound and doesn't drip. No one would suspect a mist. A steam.
I don't.
That might work.
Now it works? Really?
Well, that accomplishes the same effect.
I know. That's why I suggested it. Sometimes you guys really feel like picking on my ideas.
I'm not really
Make him
fond of the idea
invisible.
of boiling.
Yeah.
Well, it might hurt, so be prepared for it.
Yeah.
Whoever said that, I love her too.
She was talking to the dog.
Stop it.
Okay, let's see if this idea is elaborate and we can really like fireball into it. That's
Again, if
seems too crazy.
you propose an idea, you can always make an Arcana check
Yeah, I
or
wouldn't.
nature. to see, and I'll tell you the more practical results that I have in mind for it.
So you can make an Arcana check, Klaatu, and Justin gives you advantage.
Yes.
All right, okay, that's a 25. What is the idea?
The idea is to heat up the pot slowly,
Mhm.
so in the process, the creature itself is not as a heavy liquid, but more as a kind of heavy mist. Right? So we don't
Right,
want to
okay.
expand the
Mhm.
water in the sense that the pot explodes, but we want to make the liquid mix more into a mist to allow him to be a mist creature.
Preferably
would say that
without the
this-
pain.
I would say that this would probably make mist heat. Heat can have two effects. One is it will give him heat resistance, like resistance to fire. The second effect, which is the one that you want, would probably give him the ability to hover. Yeah. Not really fit through places because you're only lightly heating him. You're not actually putting like an air elemental in there.
No,
But yeah,
a
he would be able
steam
to hover.
elemental. A steam elemental.
If you want to make him a steam elemental, you'll need to kill one of the other elementals that are there and put it in there somewhere, somehow. Like it needs more than just heat to transform someone from a water elemental to a steam
Nah,
elemental.
it's fine. He's going to be a half mist, half liquid water genie, hasted and with super
Okay.
resistance.
All right. So do you do the heating?
Yeah, so we relay what could happen to you, Mist.
Mhm.
Are we going to heat you up now?
Eating or invisibility?
Well, what would the invisibility do? You should do another Arcana check.
Let's brain nerd. Big brain moves. 28.
This is big brain time. All right, 28. You know more precisely. If you cast invisibility, mist mist will probably become more translucent in a way that would give him a natural advantage against being seen. This could translate into attacks against him having disadvantage, or it could translate into him being more stealthy, or both. If it goes well.
I like that one actually.
Okay. I can cast invisibility 17 hours. If I do all the spell slots I have and can
All right.
use. And after a short rest, I can do another 3 hours. So 20 hours I can do.
Okay. So right now we have haste going in, protection going in, and invisibility going in.
Super protection.
Do we have anything else?
Can we do more?
Oh god.
Well, if it's just dropping in a potion, then yes, you can drop as many potions as you want. But again, the bigger the cocktail, the less
Let's
efficient
drop
it
a
will
whole
be.
lot of healing potions and pump his HP.
I mean, I have all this different blood as well from magical creatures.
God.
Don't you
Like
think we
from
experimented enough?
Justin doesn't get enough. Yeah, but no, he's too occupied. Like if he's still making this true lightning barrel and the sick fucking magic evasion vest, then I guess that's it.
Okay. I mean,
Because the process of his transformation
Klaatu-
will need some supervising.
yeah, Klaatu can cast the invisibility because he chose to forego one of his points. So it makes sense that he would be casting invisibility for a prolonged amount of time. But if it is just a point of dropping in something, it's like, yeah, drop in a bit of cinnamon and see if he smells like cinnamony after.
Wow.
If you want to do that, you're free to try to do that. Mist is totally vulnerable to this.
Maybe
I
take the soul.
so much. I mean,
Keep
look
in
at
mind
that
that I do have choices afterwards. After I get out of this.
That is true. Well, if you survive, yes.
if you survive this crazy process.
Right,
Ashta
Justin.
is my backup character, so.
All right, Jasta will come for Ashta will come for revenge. Justin, actually, make an Arcana check.
Yep. Yep. 17, and I'm going to add a d6 to it because what do I know what's going to? Oh, that's the d6. Yeah, 19.
All right, I'm gonna need to go to the back room with you. for this.
Oh shit!
Oh.
Yo,
Yeah, go. Fuck.
Yeah.
So Mist getting disadvantage. Pretty neat.
Maybe. I won't definitely get that, but maybe. We'll
Yeah.
see.
And I really just realized that I can be invisible for a whole day.
Yeah, but you'd have to blow all your spell slots.
Yeah.
And anything you cast above, what is it, second level, you can cast on multiple people.
Oh yeah. True. Invisibility is pretty neat. I use it so.
Greater invisibility is better, but it takes
It's also with
concentration.
attacking, right?
Yeah, you get to keep it even if you attack, but unfortunately it takes concentration.
Mm,
I don't
that's
think
awesome.
I don't think the regular invisibility does.
No, it's just 1 hour until attack. Oh, doch. Yeah, it takes concentration.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Concentration up to 1 hour. I think greater invisibility is then just 1 minute, I guess.
Yeah, it's just 1 minute,
Mm,
which kind of sucks.
yeah, but for fighting, it's still pretty good. On
Yeah.
a rogue, it's awesome. Or even on any character, but the rogue especially.
Yeah, because that means he gets sneak attack with every round, regardless, because he's at advantage.
Mm. Unless there's something like a dragon with blind
Yeah.
sense, so. But
Tremor
that's
sense, blind
pretty
sense,
rare.
whatever. But
I think it's really just dragons that have that, right? Perhaps spiders?
no, there are other things.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Umbra Hulks, pretty much any Minotaurs, pretty much anything that is blind generally has tremor sense or blind sense.
Mm. What
Oh.
is he doing?
What the hell is Jastin doing?
The fuck? Hey, no!
Damn it. What the hell is he doing?
Yes! Fuck you, whatever you did. Crit on perception. But he has a 22, not a 21. Very good, I'm clapping. The double crit on the on the stealthy stealth. What are the odds?
I wonder if Mateus will actually give us anything for that.
Yeah. Oh man. Hello.
Welcome back.
Hey, I see that you have rolled 2 natural 20s against a stealth check from Jasmine.
Yes.
Yes, we noticed that he went quiet and kind of disappeared from our work, and we were suspicious about what he's up to.
So after a while, in between all the casting of invisibility and the dropping of potions and the work going on, everyone in their workbenches and stuff, Justin just from time to time up to the pod, looks at Mist, goes back, and then with a natural 20, you notice, Klaatu, that Justin stands there one time, just stands there a little longer, and he doesn't just have his hands on the pod or in on his waist or whatever, but he's holding the canopic edge, and he's like in front of the
Stop it!
in front of the pod.
I give you a knock.
Wait,
Stop
what?
it.
What? Stop what?
Okay.
Stop what?
The process is
What
interrupted.
We do. We drop things in there.
No, you are talking, mumbling, arcana stuff. I hear you.
Yeah, I'm trying to empower this process further.
All right. Klaatu, with your high perception, you see that the canopic edge is glowing and that there is a stream of white that is approaching its edge. You can try to stop it, but you just sort of slap Justin in a way that doesn't hurt. It's more just like annoying.
Yes.
Hey, why are you slapping me over this?
Stop this process, whatever you're doing,
And
or I will must suggest you, or even worse.
What the fuck? Why are you overreacting in that way?
Then tell us what you're doing with the sword. And
I'm
tell the
trying.
truth. Mist is listening.
Yes, yeah. Now that he's incorporeal, there's a chance for me to put in some of the more loyal servants in here to be of help, right? Like your telepathic bond right now, like your invisible casting, he to be
Yeah.
able to have access to some of the powers.
Mister, you're up to that. I don't think that is a smart idea to have Legion in you.
Okay, with my insight
Well-
check, can I see? Do I believe him? First of all,
Oh,
partial
so
truth.
Justin's intentions are that yes, it will make you stronger. Yes, you will be somewhat linked to him. That wasn't everything that's going to happen.
okay. Are you trying to screw me over, Justin?
There's no screwing over here, since this is a first for me and for you, right? You mash of liquid.
No, I don't want to be linked in any way to Legion. I'm sorry.
Wait. Stop. Think about it this way. Most recently, we've been inside of each other's consciousness,
Yes.
and it's been a harrowing experience for everyone.
Yes.
This way, you will have a ward. And I will have a ward as well, since we'll be linked.
So basically, you're linking yours and my consciousnesses to
Yeah, no, not exactly. I'll put a
Defend-
friendly, a friendly soul in. I forgot her name. Damn it, and I can't seem to find it. Does anyone remember the friendly soul name?
What? Nope.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
That was David's metagaming.
I don't remember
I
Friendly
don't know.
Soul.
No, I can't find the name, Mateusz. So
Okay,
she'll be
well,
she'll
he's
be a
lost
ward. Sorry, Mateusz?
The practical way that this will work mechanically is that you will have a soul that Justin knows that is friendly to him go into you as well. This will make it so that he will be able to use some of the abilities that he can use to call Legion to help you. But it would also mean that he would also know always your location. He would have this tracker on you, basically. because of the strength of the soul, and depending on how you interact with this other soul, then, Mist, it is not strong enough to take hold of you. So it's not nearly as strong or invasive as Klaatu's like rune on his leg. But it is invasive in that you'll have very little privacy. It will be almost as if you have a constant telepathic bond, because he's not putting the whole soul, just enough to help you.
It's like a sonar, like a beep beep.
Okay, I guess I can live with that.
What?
See, there's no problem here, Klaatu.
You are-
Always when I pull out the canopic edge, I know everyone's on edge. Huh? You get the joke, but
Hey, he's
I
only
don't know
defending me, and I appreciate that, Klaatu. Thank you.
Okay.
well, I am protecting you too, right? Right. So let's get back to it. I put out both my hands and I get back to chanting and concentrating as to send in the soul. We can need to come up with a new name. She was a huntress.
Yes, from what I remember. Oof, this was a while ago.
Yes.
Mhm.
She was an old huntress. Like I'm not sure if she was even UNT, but
No, human.
she was not. No, she was human. Yeah. Okay. Right.
She
So
was a
we
human
are here.
huntress that remained her consciousness.
Okay. And when you said UNT, I was kind of struggling against that, but human is much more preferred.
All right. Okay.
And with an M, I feel like a name with an M. Manta.
Mata. All right. I'm gonna write Mata here then.
Yeah, Mata.
All right. This is so far the only effect that you know will happen. That Justin can use his Mind of Legion to help you out. Like the +6 to checks, he can use it on you. The time watch thing.
Okay, before
Yeah.
before he does this, I just want to concentrate all my mental energy on Justin and say, I swear to my Lord, Justin, if you screw me over, I will bring down the wrath of my goddess on you to its full extent.
Hey, that's no way to say thank you for a gauntlet and a soul. It's just more responsibility you have to bear.
If that's fine. If they're gifts, then I will take them. But
No, it's not a gift. It's a relationship. You need to work on it.
that,
Her name's Mata.
What is happening elsewhere?
that's
Otherwise,
that's fine. But if you are screwing me over or taking advantage of my vulnerability, I will bring the full wrath of my goddess down on you. Is that understood?
It will be a journey for both of us.
wait. Still, tell me all about this soul. Like giving me advantage on the Arcana check.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know everything about Mata or about this process?
Know about Muttered, so I can perhaps know what else could happen to him. I knew a little bit of souls, about souls.
Well, Mata's pretty old. And she died old. As a huntress. Don't know where or when she met us, but she's been a real fighter ever since, retaining her consciousness, coming across me, and seeking refuge near my refuge inside Legion.
Hmm.
She helped when we were inside as well.
Okay.
Is that the one that I helped to rescue when I went inside with you, Justin?
Oh, she was one of the helpers,
Ah.
pulling out the weapon with me.
I'm just trying to place her because the way you're talking, it sounds like there was something going on in
You
game,
know,
and
the inside of the canopic edge is like an endless maze and swirl downward, but
Yes, yes, I
if you're
remember.
anchored in there, you can stay in one location. And she's anchored to me, so I doubt that she would be able to consciously reach out to you guys inside there. But you were able to motivate some souls, yeah.
Okay, Hot, I'm okay with this. As long as you're okay with it.
Yeah.
All right. Be
If
as
you
welcoming as you can be.
Be as what?
Be as welcoming as you can be.
I'm
Take a
always
deep
welcoming.
breath.
Okay. The soul feels to you like a wisp, like a cold wisp moving from this position that it enters right near your chest and settling around that area. You feel this third friendliness saying, "Hello, Justin sent me. I think we've met before." Feels so strange to be in a body again. Can I move? No. No, you can't. Can't move you. Huh. Well, I'm here to help. I can help you. Most of my soul is still in with Legion, but here I am safe, and and Justin is safe. So yes, and we're helping you. So, hello.
Hello, and welcome. I hope this is not too intrusive to you.
More intrusive to you than to me, right? I mean, I can kind of feel your thoughts and Melora and this love. It's weird.
Oh yeah, it's
Weird
weird.
to be in the mind of a religious person.
Sorry. I am like not a religious person at all, and the fact that the way you said that, it's like, oh my god. um. Yeah. Welcome. I guess make yourself at home.
Alright,
Oh,
you
I
just
will.
go and
I
focus.
have. This is nice. This is so nice. I just hope it's not too strange for you, but it definitely feels very nice to me. Very, very nice.
I'm sure it must be nice to be out of the sword, away from all those others.
It's, well, I have to say, it does definitely feel a bit more relaxed here. Definitely more relaxed.
Well, that's good.
It's strange. It's like your thoughts are not of like constant domination of my soul, and well, I hope we can keep it that way.
I
Right?
have no desire to dominate your soul, and I truly hope the feeling's mutual.
Why would I have a desire to dominate your soul? If I had a desire to dominate your body.
Just out of curiosity,
Sorry,
can
maybe wrong joke to make. Moment.
just out of curiosity, would I be able to release control and let her take over
Yes.
temporarily
Yes.
and take back control when I want it back?
She would need to be the one giving control back.
She would have to give it back.
Yes.
Oh, well,
But you can always ask her help. So in a way, you have a minor, just as Justin can consult with his souls to get advantage on checks. In this one, you get an advantage. I'm not sure yet what to define. Probably it's going to end up making you have a proficiency in survival, considering her huntress background. So the
okay.
idea is that this is going to be a positive thing, unless it really is the case that Legion takes over Justin, in which case that's going to be bad for you. It's going to be bad for you.
Okay. I'll just say to her, well, in the future, as I've gotten to know you a little better, we might possibly discuss you taking control of the body temporarily on occasion.
Oh, that's nice. That would be interesting. I think I'd like that.
Just
Taking over the body.
temporarily,
Okay, okay. That's a good idea.
and just we'll discuss that option as I get to know you.
You hear a knocking against the chamber, against the glass. Jason's outside. Oi, oi, oi! Don't get lost chit-chatting with the soul of matter. They're all dying to converse, as they don't get to converse a lot.
Well,
You just focus on getting your buddy first before you promise some people to take them over, right?
yes, Justin.
Yeah, don't forget she's a huntress. What will she do in a body that's clad in a big and heavy armor, swinging a heavy sword, carrying a heavy shield?
Well,
This is a male body, and that's weird as well.
And that's weird as well. And then you're mostly water.
she'd be able to move around on her own for the first time in who knows how long.
Well, we'd appreciate it.
That freedom is hard to put a price tag on.
Just be careful of our influence. Even matters.
Hey, I have been nothing but friendly.
And hopefully we can stay that way.
Right, big guy. Only a couple of days to go. I'll have to finish work, as it seems I'll have a major breakthrough on the pepper box.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. Havoc on the
And
battlefield, I'll tell you.
thankfully, you're gonna have to give the pepper box a better name.
Yeah, it's close to needing a name, right?
Yeah, it
It's
really
getting
does.
to that point, yeah. All right. So, what we're going to do now, Mist, is with these 4 ingredients. Well, the soul is already in, so there's no 4th ingredient. Is there any other potion, anything else to that you would want to infuse on Mist?
Yeah, what would happen if he put a greater healing potion into him? Would his HP perhaps rise?
Mm-hmm.
So?
Go ahead, make the Arcana check.
Yeah. Oh, 29.
Damn, Quad 2.
Nice.
Okay. Greater healing potion, considering that the liquid itself is healing, probably wouldn't do that much. It might accelerate his growth a little bit. He might end up leaving it an inch, maybe 5 inches taller.
Mhm. Oh, that would be something for Miru.
Well, you don't want to make him too tall, otherwise Miru's gonna not like him.
Yeah, we don't need to mess with my size any.
No, right? Who wants that?
I mean,
Unless for
you
certain
could.
parts, you know.
Yes, I mean, you're the one analyzing it, and you are pretty sure that if you can direct it to a certain part that you can make larger.
Yeah. Of
But
course.
you would
No,
need to also go into the pod and make the surgery there yourself.
I'm fine with the size of my parts as they are.
This might even feel more invasive to Mist than this new soul.
Yeah, I'm thinking it would.
Yeah. But again, it crosses your mind, and because it does, and you're in the telepathic link, I'm sure it passes to everyone as well.
But you won't do it. I know, Miss, you are not that kind of guy. You are perfect as you are. You have a perfect body. I wouldn't change a bit. You are beautiful as ever.
Klaatu, you don't need to be thinking about those parts of my body.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I sometimes I can't handle myself still.
Mm-hmm.
So what potions do we still have? Or what can we brew?
Throw in
Yeah.
another haste potion. I really want that haste ability.
Miss, don't try it. Do you want to stay on caffeine all the time? You will be like a child that can't focus on anything. I think it's good that you don't have the haste in you.
I just want to be able to haste during combat.
More haste.
Yeah.
I mean, more potions of haste. They are more likely to give that effect.
Okay.
Like,
take
I could try to do the
work.
blood. Do you want the blood? Like, the blood that makes sense would be merfolk blood and Shul blood.
But I don't want to turn into those.
Yeah. Also have water genasi blood, but that's your own blood. I don't think that'll do much.
Yeah, probably not a whole lot.
Nope. So that's all Justin has to offer. All the rest is magic, is not magical.
I have the feather of Lendridin.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
I could put in Pearl of Uxelfon's Garden.
Ooh, maybe that's a place for the pearl.
That is a very strong item.
Yeah, it's very
If-
strong.
It would definitely enhance Mist's healing.
What can I do? I forgot about it.
The pearl
Heal
is
everything.
yeah, the pearl is a very powerful magic battery as well. And it's from Uxefon's garden, which is pretty associated with healing. So maybe throw that in. I wouldn't know what else to use it on.
Do you want to make an Arcana check or a Nature check?
Yes. On nature, do you want to do it?
Don't-
And we help?
Don't
Or
forget that you
shall I?
that you don't need to just mindlessly speculate.
Yeah. I would just roll with advantage because
Oh no.
All right.
Okay,
So that's a
I guess.
20.
Okay. Okay, but Orab is being helped, so that's a 20 then. The pearl would give one of two effects. One is all of Mist's spells, considering that it is a very powerful battery, all of Mist's spells are always cast at one level higher. The other ability would be the ability to get the life-giving breath of Uxaphon. That breath that healed and revived everyone in that area.
Oh, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, now that's a dilemma. Imagine a breath that picks up everyone.
I am gonna make Miss so overpowered out of this.
Yeah. But it
It's
costs
good.
us a lot of powerful items. I mean, the potions
Yes.
we can make again, but the pearl and the soul we won't
Yeah,
get
but
back.
the pearl, Miro
It's
has
gonna
some
be-
more of the pearls, I think, and basically then Uxelfon's Garden, I think.
No. Don't think we can speculate on farming pearls. Since we're already speculating on farming Titan blood somewhere. We also the forest also. No. So what would you rather have, Mist? Breath or higher spellcast?
Well, add a character. The higher spellcast is definitely intriguing, but honestly, I think it would be a pain in the ass to
Implement.
Yeah. I guess I could just add like a D8 to all my spells, basically. That's all it would really
Or you
do.
just always cast them at a level higher without taking the slot as well.
Because that would essentially add like a D8 to all my spells.
On some cases, more targets.
Yeah.
It is still pretty good, but the breath is also pretty good.
My only problem with the breath is it heals enemies as well. And that there's not a whole lot of times when we're not in and around the enemies.
But it's a heal and a revive without any materials.
The revive. How large is the breath? Was it a 60-foot
The
cone?
breath in your case will be like the Dragonborn's breath, which I
15-foot
think is
cone.
60. 15? Okay, then it would be 15.
It's pretty late already if you want to take some more time to decide, miss.
Yeah, that's also true. That's also true. We can start next session with these ideas more concrete then.
Well, with a 15-foot cone, I think I'd probably go with the breath. That way I'm not, like,
Okay.
breathing all over the enemies and healing them for all the damage we just...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the breath.
All right then. I am going to roll because you added 2 haste potions. I'm going to roll then, based to see what effects you're gonna have for the 2 haste potions. Pretty good. That is very good.
Nice.
So for the haste, you're not gonna be under the effect of haste constantly. That would be too strong.
Okay, that I can live with.
What you will get is I think 3 action surges that can be used in your turn on your turns.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 action surges. I think that is fair. What do you think, Miss? Do you think this is too weak?
No, that seems fair. Yeah, I don't get the extra movement or the extra AC, but I still get the additional action, which is nice.
Yes. What you do get as a drawback from getting 2 haste potions in this is that you kind of have an addiction to haste.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Easy to play out for you, Jeff.
Yes.
So it's more like it's not an addiction like you always have to be under it. It's more like every day, if you do not get under it, you're gonna start feeling like a bit jittery, maybe just a general slowness. So you want to be under the effects of haste.
Yes, I do.
Make a make a wisdom saving throw.
Right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. This effect will count as a madness effect. This addiction will count as a madness.
Okay.
Which it's like it works as a long-term madness, which I think will work well with Justin's abilities, but yeah, it can also have certain drawbacks in specific situations. So for the time being, you have a madness that makes you really desire to be hasted.
Okay.
Okay. Protection potion. Right, still a positive effect, not too strong. 3 times per day, you can use your reaction to get resistance to all damage until the start of your next turn.
Okay.
Guys, I'm gonna have to go already. But see you next
The
Monday,
invisibility,
right?
yes. The
Sorry.
invisibility, I'm
just-
gonna have Klaatu make an Arcana check, but I think next Monday would be good. We're just
All right.
finishing up here.
You can finish up your stuff here. I just have to leave. All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Easy.
See you next week.
Goodbye.
All right, Klaatu, make an Arcana check.
Oh, yeah.
Whoop. Beep. 24.
Okay, all right, okay. The way that I was going to rule it was that your roll adds to the D100, which makes this an above 100 roll.
Nice.
And what is this for? The invisibility? Okay.
The invisibility, yes. I'll give this option to you, Mist, considering that this was a crit roll, basically. You have 3 choices. One is you are permanently invisible in certain conditions. So if it's night, you're invisible, something like that. It wouldn't be something like that. It would probably be more something like you would roll for stealth. If the roll for stealth is above a certain level, you are also invisible in addition to that. So it would be a camouflage in that way. Second one is you would always have either advantage or proficiency in stealth, depending on, again, what you would choose. And the third one is the ability to actually turn yourself invisible for a minute every day.
Okay, invisible or greater invisible?
Well, greater invisibility, yes. Because,
Okay.
well, yeah, greater invisibility. All of these would be greater invisibility.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that one.
Okay. Think about it. I'll also be talking to you over the course of the week about the specific abilities that you would get from the Maroon. Because that's also pretty important. So these would be the extra abilities that you got from their experimentation on you. And then you have the Maroon ones as well. All right, so we'll stop here. If you have any ideas of something that you would like from the Maroon and that you would think is fair, then you can also write it to me.
Okay.
All right. Are you happy with this transformation?
So far.
You come out as the vengeance healing machine against the Yuan-Ti sphere.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
I have
Yeah.
evolved past mortal form.
And
For 1 minute each day.
these abilities that you just listed, the action surges, resistance to all damage, and the invisibility, that's stuff that's all the time?
It is something that you would always have the option to do, yes.
Okay, so I don't have to be
per
transformed?
Per long rest. No,
Okay.
no. Then you would have the abilities of the Maroons from transforming, which
Okay.
are different.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All right, guys, I have to go. And
Yo,
Me too.
we'll see you guys.
next
Yeah.
week Monday.
Yes.
Yeah, next week, Monday.
Good.
All right.
Okay.
And again, this experimentation and transformation from mist, you can do eventually. You'll be able to do to everyone, to yourselves in very
Yeah,
radical ways.
crazy. Crazy stuff.
Frankenstein's
Just
campaign.
as, oh yeah, just as, well, that's kind of the theme of blood magic. Is you're supposed to be changing yourselves as well to gain power. Well, not supposed to, but it's an option. All right, see you guys next week. I have to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.